Hey everybody, it's Rydo and we are back with another episode of Hearthstone. Also a recording session if I want to call it that. So we've got to win 7 games today and it makes sense to trade off one of these since I do have a trade. Try to get some more gold. 3 games and 7 games overlaps, so no reason to trade that off. Trade this off. Win 5 games with the Shaman or Warlock. Okay, so where are we? We are in that balance where the Tavern Brawl is gonna be back in one day. The arena, let's see, today would be an arena day, and we do have a Warlock.
The shadow.
So we will play the Warlock. Let's see. Add also damages minions next to whoever attacks. Sog Fugan. I'll take the dragon. This one, this one. Let's see how fast we can go about this. If I was gonna get a Murloc deck, I need to start thinking that direction. I always want to have a few cards that will deal damage if I in a way as a spell instead of summoning creatures. I'll take one of those. I'll take that. Take another one of those. Alright, whenever something dies, or adjacent minions. That was adjacent minions. Take that one. Yeah, the adjacent minions, take that one. I don't have anything for each enemy death rattle thing. Little Exorcist isn't as good as I thought it was. It only is the enemy's death rattles. So you have really no way of knowing whether your opponent is going to play a lot of death rattles. Take the Annoyatron. We'll take that. We'll strike that. Take Shadow Flame, I suppose. Take that. Not really any good options there. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, I'll take Soulfire. And this one. And we'll take a nice strong one. And then we'll take the Sea Giant. Let's run into it and start making progress. We're hoping to get really lucky today. Also, we need to play more ranked mode because I still haven't made it to rank 20, which means we aren't going to get to enjoy playing on casual mode, which does help a little bit. We're at 4,055 gold, which means ever so close, ever so close to our goal of 4,600. So I can stop talking about that at a certain point.
I must protect the one.
Your soul shall be mine!
these two cards. That's a first and second round move. First and second turn move. We've got the Core Hound already.
Why do you call?
So let's talk about what's going on, I suppose.
Put this apple on your head.
Finished, or recently started and finished, recording Plants vs. Zombies Game of the Year edition. That will be coming out either now or pretty soon. On that
I
path,
hope you like my invention.
since Plants vs. Zombies is replacing the Stanley Parable, which replaced Bastion, which replaced
I hope you like my invention.
FTL. It is very much an original of the first three paths of games I was recording. There was Binding of Isaac, FTL, and Hearthstone. Hearthstone still goes on because Hearthstone just goes on forever, whether you like it or not. And
I am master of magics. Oh, if you're sure.
Binding of Isaac was replaced by Plague Inc. Evolved.
Pass me that
And
unlikely
then
carrot.
Plague Inc. Evolved and Plants vs. Zombies are going to end right about the same time, which makes a good point to bring about the thought that that's the end of that series. I don't know. I probably should go back and actually
So many
Shield up.
possibilities.
I can fix anything.
reconsider
Oh, if you're
the
sure.
season
Organization
thought
commencing.
versus the series thought, because it's not really gonna work that well. It might even be better at some point to just go by years and say all these games came out in this order in this year. But because some game series end real fast, some game series take a lot longer to end.
May my ancestors watch over.
And trying to keep that balance is just an artificial
Oh, if you're sure. I got
exercise that will never really work out. But those two kind of balance out, so I think that's as good as time to end the series as ever. I need to do a new intro. I need to do, I've said this before, and it's just at the low priority list. I need to do a new intro, give up the thought that I could ever have it done.
I'll fix you. I got this.
In the way I would like. Destroy one and deal its attack to all enemy minions.
Job done.
I need to just think of what I want to say on the new intro and put that in there.
Power flows through me.
It would be great if some aspiring video editor could cut up my videos and make like a reel, gag reel or something along that line. Destroy a friendly minion and deal damage to all of its... turn there. He's close to winning right now. Let's see. 6 damage to both might work. If I summon this and these two are still alive, and then do this.
For the crusade!
That might work. No, he's got me defeated. Well, that sucked, but this to be expected. I'm trying to just progress. I don't need to add more series. Some of the games I did, the poker games in particular, I just spotlighted, because how are you going to do anything but a spotlight on a poker series? It would be very dull. Very, very dull. But I don't think any of my other games were selected. I carefully picked all my other games that I got, so they won't be there. In fact, they will be the exact opposite of like a game that can be spotlighted. They are games that are going to take considerable amount of time, possibly, very possibly more than a year to cover all the games that I did spotlight One Fingered Death Punch. Again, it's too fast-paced a game that you would really want to play it, and it's not as in detailed. I missed some stuff uncovering it. If I had played it all the way through and then spotlighted it, I'm sure that would change my spotlight of it a little bit, but I really haven't played that game much afterwards. I'm just so busy. So yeah, some things may slip through the crack as far as whether or not I particularly want to play them or not.
Ready to ride. Taste my steel.
One of the new games that I wanted to cover because it's early access and there's a bit of buzz on it was Nom Nom Galaxy. I've recorded that entire series. It's probably already been shown. And it was possibly the worst rage quit that I've done so far. If FTL we really wrapped up, we said we did everything on hard. Fortunately, there weren't any options like that in Nom Nom Galaxy, but I don't think I would make that same mistake and do everything on hard when I was already having trouble with Nom Nom Galaxy. It's early access, they could still fix a lot of my critiques of it, and that very well might turn it into a more interesting game, but at the moment it's not. It couldn't keep my interest. It had a lot of problems that I won't go into. But Nom Nom Galaxy was a third series, fourth series actually, that I added in there, and I'm not sure I'm gonna do that again. I also did a Minecraft series, and it ended pretty poorly too, and I'm not gonna go out and seek more Minecraft to do, just because I'm so busy with other things. I did Captain Minecraft 3. I thought they had fixed some of the problems in Captain Minecraft 1 and Captain Minecraft 2. They hadn't. I thought they had fixed those same problems in 3, and they hadn't. And so, unless I just got a really strange build from directly from their website, and there was a better version. They just kind of didn't finish the project. And it seems like they abandoned it. There was a major level design in the Nether, and you couldn't get into the Nether. There was 2 dragons and a custom-made end in the end, and you couldn't get into the end.
Possibilities.
So, well over half of the map did not work, and that made for a shorter series. And Captain Minecraft 3 still suffers from a lot of the problems of 2. I cannot be doing. I just shouldn't do Minecraft survival games. It's not my forte. I will stick to puzzle games, please.
Almost out of time.
And I wish there were more puzzle games out there to cover, but also I kind of don't wish that because I'm just so busy. And I think I've done enough Minecraft for a while. I will definitely probably, well, I'll more than likely cover the two minion charge and deal 2 damage. Kill this. Kill this and play control. Yeah, 1.9 is just around the corner. They announced at Minecon the new things that they were doing in 1.9, or some more of the new things. They've basically put a new plant in the end. There's a new creature that's kind of like a heat-seeking missile turret creature. There's dungeons now that are supposed to be in the end, and there's supposed to be multiple islands in the end. Does that... I think that probably means they're going to leave the original island alone, and then then you'll be able to travel from the original island to other islands to do some more in there. It's not a terrible thought. That's really not a terrible thought. Darn it. Because there really is nothing in the end. The most interesting thing I've ever seen in the end is for people to make Enderman grinders for experience in Ender Pro, which I suppose they might. That might change some things. So, cost 1 less for each minion on the battlefield. If I summon this, it would be 3, so 6 or 5, yeah.
I hope you like my invention.
Well, now I've got to do this, so I didn't play it right. So this kind of sucks.
I got this.
Well, I blew my opportunity there. Oh well, we'll get to see Giant out on the next turn. The offhand concept, I still don't understand directly what it is. Whether it's supposed to be more for shields or something else. I don't know. They haven't fully explained it to my satisfaction what the offhand concept in Minecraft 1.9 is going to be. I thought it was going to be more of an adventure update, but we haven't really seen all of that. They have a Windows 10 version of Minecraft, which is just kind of the middle of the road between the Windows, the Minecraft Pocket Edition and actual Minecraft. The Windows 10 version is not doesn't use Java, which is cool. I think Microsoft will push them all to get away from Java a little bit faster than they were already working to get away from Java. So maybe that means we'll have eventually have a smoother experience with, let's see. With Minecraft in the future.
The frost wolves stand ready.
I got this. Oh, if you're sure.
But so far I haven't seen anything that super interests me. More items, more plants in general are a good thing for Minecraft, but the plants are just gonna make some kind of new potion. That's all they're gonna do, or be a decorative item, which I'm not that heavy into decorating. Wow, you played that pretty well.
I am master of magics.
But yeah, nothing. I don't know if there's anything new as far as the redstone, as far as hoppers, minecarts, or anything like that. Things that would interest me a little bit more.
Death does not scare me.
Well, gee, if I survive one more turn, I could do this on myself.
Vaporization commencing.
Job done.
But I'm not going to. Yeah, we're gonna lose this arena run like we lose a lot of them, with just 3 straight losses. Wow. I still haven't been able to do any more recording on The Witcher 3. I want to. The problem that I've run into, and it has nothing to do with The Witcher 3, is other than the fact that The Witcher 3 is a really long game, and I have a lot of those episodes already recorded and ready to go. The problem I have is I have a Jurassic Park series, Jurassic Park game, and a Game of Thrones game, and then maybe a couple other games that are somewhat in people's mindset right now.
Shall be mine.
Jurassic World, the movie, as of this time of this recording, is a super popular game, movie that came out. Best-selling ever because of inflation, partially, but whatever. It's also still the best-selling ever movie. So super in the people's attention. Maybe by the time I start airing an episode, that won't be the case. But I don't know. Game of Thrones, absolutely. You cannot undeniably
I can fix
in
anything.
the public's mindset a lot these days. So getting Game of Thrones out there makes sense. That people will search Game of Thrones on YouTube and they might come to my video. Uh, People will search Jurassic Park and they will come to my video. Or at least that is my hope. Um,
I'll
so
fix you.
I want to get those videos recorded and out there as soon as possible. I want it to be, I wish it would be a situation where it was only 1 day of recording to do one. I know it's not going
For
to be
no
that.
regard.
And then there's several of my games are somewhat newer games, and I would like to cover them because they might be in people's attention. One of the spotlights I did is by far the oldest game I've done, Telltale Texas Hold'em. By far the oldest. Let's see, how could we do this, and this. And then
I'll fix you.
this, and then this. Done. So I'd very much like to get those ones out. Older games, I don't know if I'd go any early before 2000 games. It's really, really hard, and it was really, really hard for me to Telltale Texas Hold'em and have anything of relevance, anything relevant to say. There really isn't that much to say now. I go 3 damage to all characters. Well done. So I probably wouldn't want to do an early 2000 game unless it's been remade, unless it's been remastered. The graphics are pretty old-fashioned on older games. Since it was a poker game, it really did have me thinking, well, what if I did play one of those DOS poker games that
My ancestors
I
watch over me.
would have played in the mid-90s or earlier. What if I did try to record that? And really, that even trying to record that's a nightmare. If it's not at least a window in Windows, I don't think I have the capability to actually record. But probably could through some kind of emulator. I don't know if there would be a ton of interest in those
The
things.
frost wolves stand ready.
Well done. You can always live in hope with old games that there might be some niche audience that would just search for that and want to see it, and that might bring in a whole new circles. When I talk about there's a group of people in this circle that are interested in something, and there's a group of people over here that are interested in something different. So if I put a game that's right here, maybe it will catch this circle and this circle where they overlap, and bring more audience eventually all to the center, which is just would then be one big circle of they like Rydo's content. Am I gonna make it past this turn? That would be a big oops if I lost, but whatever. I'm obviously not paying very much attention at all to what's going on. So maybe old games, there will be a circle that's possibly bigger than what I think that would bring in people. But almost certainly all of that comes from the Steam store. So if it's on Steam, it's gotta be at least, I'd say, a Windows 95 game. If not, it's gotta be a more recent game. I recently watched a video of somebody replaying like The Witcher 1, and boy does it look pretty bad. It looks pretty bad. I would not want to play that just for the gameplay things. I'd love to know the story of it, and maybe that's where companies like Telltale, or it doesn't even have to be Telltale as a company, but it's where people might take that concept and improve upon it by
I hope you like my invention.
I'm master of magic. Shields up.
let's see.
Taste my steel.
Sorry, what was I talking about? Take the concept of Telltale, which is mostly just a storyline with a few choice dialogue choices. Well, if you take an old game like Witcher 1, it's mostly just a storyline with a few dialogue choices. So, take that same story, take the graphics from The Witcher 3 or whatever game is most recent. Here is the Witcher 1's story, redone, fixed. We've taken the gameplay part out because that would take too much money and too much work to actually remaster the game properly. So instead we'll just give you the abridged version and you will have a fun time with that. I think that would work for a ton of old games where the gameplay isn't the super focus. I would definitely be agreeable to doing that for the Elder Scrolls stories. Like everything before Skyrim is too old. It's too much. It would be too much work to remaster them. Or the Final Fantasy series. Man, if there is an actual story in most of the Final Fantasy games, remake those in a Telltale style game. And it doesn't have to all be Telltale. I don't think they own the copyright on the concept of a choose your own adventure story, which is about all that is. So we have 80 dust, and we got one new card. What was the new card? Let's see. We now have 2 Iron Senseis. And that was pretty useless. The 3 games. So, ranked play now. Wait, no, not with the priest. The shaman and the warlock is who we're playing. I guess we'll play the shaman now. The shaman has slightly better chances of winning than the warlock does. It is kind of this whole sliding scale as we have more and more games in our history, and people have relatively the same amount of time in their lives. How can people experience the storyline and the interesting parts of something? Like Super Mario World is a great example. How can I convince someone who was born like this year. Well, no. Let me rephrase it. How can I convince a 5-year-old to play Super Mario Brothers on the NES when they've seen today's graphics, 3D graphics, and they've seen Super Mario Galaxy, and they've seen the newest versions? How can I help them experience the storyline and of whatever little storyline was actually in Super Mario Brothers, which there really wasn't. It was just save the princess. But so that's really actually a terrible example. Now that I think about it. I need to pick something with actual. Resident Evil 1 is a good example. How can you get someone to experience the storyline of Resident Evil 1 without without having them slog through the terrible level design and graphics of it? And they've tried to remaster it mostly for cash grabs reasons. And the remaster is probably the best way you could actually play that game before. But honestly, there was a Wii version where you just were an on-rail shooter that was a lot better. When they started from scratch and just made it an on-rail shooter, you went through a lot of let's see.
I can't do that.
Okay, Death Rattle resummon this minion. That worked pretty well. So, on the on-rail shooter part of Resident Evil, I guess that makes a lot of sense for that game, because it is mostly a zombie shooter game. That's its main focus. Let's see. Not quite winning yet, but boy, you can tell the difference between an arena deck and a custom deck. That Murloc's come to the victory again. That is good. So that's 1 of 7 victories we need. So we have a 3-5-7. It's a little strange to have that, but we don't have to worry about doing anything else, just winning, which is usually the hardest skill. I would love a recap of what the storyline was for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. But honestly, my first one I ever played was 4. 4 to me seems like really what Resident Evil is to me, and it's the most strange and different game. And then I played 5, and 5 was alright, and then I don't even think I did play 6 at all. There's a lot of ridiculousness in that story, and I don't think a Telltale Games of that would be completely in line with it. I think the on-rail shooters for that style of game actually works better, because story isn't the main focus on the Resident Evil thing. But they are coming up with, in different ways to recap storyline. Well, gee, is the guy gonna play or lose connection or what? Well, was I given a choice to exchange things? I guess I did.
I greet you.
Let's see.
Greetings, friend.
But more and more for the Mario universe, to go back to Mario, there is that whole aspect of is this game? Well, Mario in particular doesn't matter. You don't need to know the previous storyline. So why do I keep going back to Mario? I guess it's because I really would like a 5-year-old to play Mario. But I'm not sure how you would convince him to do it. And how you convince a kid to do anything. All of that is beyond me. Man, I love this deck. Yeah, this is a deck I should have been playing as this guy. More. Leveling them up. I've had less and less time to play Hearthstone offline though.
Put this apple on your
There's
head.
no time for that. I've got so many other games.
Why do you call?
Right. Let's play this. And then we'll just end our turn here. The Mist series. There's a series that if they made a Telltale like game would work. The puzzles would be easy to be translated. Or easily translatable to the thing. Let's see. To a Telltale-like game. The DX series. Pretty much, it's the long games. The long games need abridged versions of their games. And what they're doing now usually is that they'll just, let's see. They'll just try to recap it or have it be part of the backstory. Whatever game comes after Skyrim, I mean, they'll try and recap it and it will be in the backstory, the events of Skyrim somewhat, but I mean, that usually all ends up in books, and if you've watched enough of my series, you know I don't have time or an interest in reading the books if it's just being text. I'm a very visual person, that's why I like video games. I don't want to see gee, they managed to win. I want to be shown, not told, as far as all of that. So, yeah, the long games need recaps. I could see a just story-based, point-and-click your own adventure type games. It's almost the new visual novel type game is what it really is. And that's fine. Visual novels have been around for a long time. They often become romantic visual novels, which don't really interest me that much. Certainly couldn't see myself ever doing a series on those, just because it would be so long and boring, and I would just be either not reading all the dialogue out loud or sitting there and not commenting on it. But anyways, that's 5 games and we won like one of them. So that's the end of this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can do that by clicking on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media site, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.